There's like a film that has like stories.
Okay, guys, we'll get going. The attendance code is on screen just now if you want to get yourselves checked in. Hopefully you are all getting used to life at Stirling. I know some of you are coming back from your undergrads, so I possibly saw you at various points under undergrad journey, so welcome back. But to those of you that are new to the university, hope you had a good day yesterday, getting to grips with everything that we're going to be doing over the course of the next year. Okay, just to quickly take a note of the code if you haven't had a chance to pop it in. Okay, so as I said yesterday, this is the sports finance module. It's a core module for your masters. Don't worry too much if you're not familiar with finance, or the idea of finance is a bit concerning. We're going to try and make things, we're not expecting you to be accountants when you do this, or be accountants when you finish it either, but it's very important that if you do go and work in the sports industry, hopefully you will after you graduated in a year's time, that you are familiar with the things that you're going to need to be familiar with when it comes to finance. Okay, so we're going to try and cover all the things that you would need to know if you were going to work in a sports organization concerning finance. Okay, so by the end of today's session, this is kind of a taster session, an introduction. We won't go for the whole 3 hours. I know 3 hours is a long time to be sat listening to me waffle on. So we are going to mix it up in the sessions themselves, but also 3 hours is quite a long time. Most weeks will be 3 hours, but often we'll finish a wee bit shorter. Okay. So today's session, we're going to be looking at what you're actually going to do over the course of this module, including the 2 assignments that you've got, the 2 kind of summative assignments that you've got, and the kind of structure for the module, what we're going to be doing over the next few months. We're going to be thinking about why sports finance is important, or why finance is important within the sports industry and within sports organizations. We're going to be looking at some of the key differences between for-profit sports and not-for-profit sports, and what that actually means in practice. And then we're going to be looking at, we'll do a wee exercise in class around typical types of expenditure. So typical things that sports organizations will need to pay for over the course of their journey. Okay. Everyone comfortable with that? Yeah, excellent. But before we do all that, I would like to get to know you a little bit more. I didn't get a chance to get everyone's names. You're probably going to be sick to death of doing this after yesterday, but I probably didn't catch all of it. So I would like to get to know you a little bit. Hi, come in. And we are going to do something that is important within finance, within the sports industry, negotiation. Okay, a little icebreaker, a little negotiation icebreaker. Okay, I'm going to explain the rules to you. Okay, so how many do we have today? Oh God, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Right, roughly we're going to have 2 lines of 15, okay, facing each other. We'll move the tables apart. 2 lines of 15 facing each other that way, if that makes sense. Yeah, let's go. Bring some paper with you and some pens, if you've got any. If you haven't got a pen, borrow one.
Oh, me too. Yeah, do you not?
Ricky was
I have a pen if someone wants to borrow.
This is not working.
You want a pen? Did you have to miss a break? Cheap on that, and I'll get like one of these, right? Like £2.
Yeah, so just push the tables to the side and then face each other down the middle, tables and chairs to the side.
£5. Yeah, it's a
Okay. So if you can roughly split yourselves in two and then face each other exactly like that. Perfect. Thank you. These screens are surprisingly sensitive for touch screen. There we go. Okay. Everyone got some paper and pen as well? Yeah. Yeah. If you haven't got any paper, perhaps someone can borrow some, lend some. Probably won't want it back, but. Okay. How are we getting on? So just come to the middle. Make sure you're kind of lined up opposite someone. Sorry, I'm in your way now. Okay. So if you perhaps just come a little bit further down, we'll push this back. Move the line up.
I remember that.
I like those.
Yeah, come in. Yep, come in. Okay, so
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, we've got mistakes, which we needed.
Yeah, so I feel like I'm dyslexic.
11, 12, 15, 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Perfect. Okay, great. So what you're going to do is the person you're facing at the moment, right? I'm going to give you 30 seconds and you're going to have a quick conversation about whether you're going to do one of three things. Okay? The first one is split. The second one is steal. And the third one is you're a stealer. Okay, so you're going to have a conversation and you're going to negotiate, basically. It's all about negotiation, trusting the other person. Okay, it's going to be important when you come to finance because people are going to want to steal your money, right? So whoever you're facing against at the moment, you're going to have a conversation. Okay, now there's 2 points that can be earned. Okay, the first one, the options are as follows. Okay, so actually, I think I could just skip this on a wee bit. Okay, yes, okay, so if both people decide you want to split the 2 points that are available, you both write split on your piece of paper, okay? If one of you writes steal and the other one writes split, the person that has put steal wins the 2 points. Clear? If you both write steal, no one gets any points, okay? So if you both try and cheat each other, no one gets any points. If one of you writes steal and the other person thinks that they are going to steal and they say you're a stealer, the person that correctly guessed that you're going to try and steal their points gets the points. And if you both write you're the stealer, no one gets points. Okay, is that clear?
Yes.
So we'll do a trial run. This is just no points really on offer here. Okay. Now we've got some new people. Do we still have even numbers? You've just joined. Okay, so if one of you can join at the end of this queue, and one of you stay as well.
You're so British.
Honestly.
Okay. So remember the three options: split, steal, or you're a stealer. So one of the three things that you write down, and that's based on whether or not you think you want the points for yourself, and you're going to try and bluff the other person, whether you want to share the points, or whether you think the other person is going to try and trick you. Okay. So one of three options: split, steal, or you're a stealer. Okay. And I'm going to give you 30 seconds to have a quick chat to the person that's standing directly opposite you. And so you're new to the game that we've created. Okay, so split, steal, or you're a stealer. It's based on 2 points are available. You'll get you. Right. So 30 seconds, off you go. And then once you've done those 30 seconds, you write down on your paper. Okay. Obviously, you don't share what's on your paper with the person that's opposite. Yeah? Okay, off you go. Oh, introduce yourself if you don't know the person you're chatting to. You don't have someone?
I found
You want to do something rather still? You and I will play. Let me get some paper.
Sorry.
Sorry, what was your name? What would you like to do? Still? Okay, well, I'm not going to let you steal because there's 1 point as well. So why don't we agree to split? Okay, we're both going to go away and we're going to write split. Okay. I'm not going. Hey, listen, I'm not going to cheat you. Have a new module, okay? Why don't we agree to split?
We share the point.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you've had a chance to negotiate. Write down whatever you're gonna do based on your conversation there. Remember, you could either split, steal, or accuse the other person of being a dirty, rotten scoundrel. Okay. So after 3, you can share your piece of paper with the person opposite. Okay, so me and Salip over here. After 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay, so you get. Okay, so if you accuse the person of being a stealer and they weren't a stealer and they were going to split, remember they get a point and you don't get anything, unfortunately. Okay, so if you look at the thing, all the points are available, all different. The options are on the board there. Salip and I, we've agreed that we were going to split our points, so you get 1 point each. Okay, if you agree to split. Yeah. Okay. In this occasion, you've got the 2 points because you've incorrectly accused him of being a liar. Okay. So now what you're going to do is the people are on this. What's your name? Sorry, at the end. Yeah, Kate. So if Kate comes all the way down to the bottom of this row and everyone on this line moves up one, we'll do a different person. Okay. We're a person short as well, actually. So if you join the end of this queue, you'll sit out for now, but you'll do the next one. Yeah. Okay.
Ray's going to explain it.
Okay. After 3, 1, 2, 3, off you go. Okay, and then if you write down what you've decided, whatever you're going to do, write it down on your piece of paper.
I hope so.
Okay, and after 3, if you show the person you're opposite what's on your piece of paper. 1, 2, 3. What did you write split?
I've got 2 points.
Okay, so make a note of how many points you got. Anybody unclear on how many points they got? Yep. Yes, you're unclear? What did you get? Okay, so point each, yeah? Okay.
He's on 3 points. You get 9.
Okay, now Salip's going to move down to the bottom and then we'll move one up. There'll be one person missing out, unfortunately, just with the odd numbers, so no partner this time for you, okay? And then off you go. We'll give you 30 seconds, off you go. Next person.
So we'll start?
Yes, please start. Yeah. What's it is?
Accessibility. The best semester.
Sorry, did you enjoy it?
Okay. Write down on your piece of paper what you think.
Yeah. Top.
Okay, write on your piece of paper what you're going to Okay, and then after 3, show your piece of paper to your person opposite. 1, 2, 3.
I'm not like that's what.
Oh, that's so nice. Same as that time as well.
Okay, we're going to do this 3 more times. So if you want to move down one, we'll have the next person move down.
So you get the pointer, so you get 0.
Yep. So yep, perfect. Okay, and then off you go. 30 seconds. Start now. Okay, call it there. Write down on your piece of paper what you're going to put. Make a decision on what you're going to do. Okay, and then after 3, 1, 2, 3, show your other person. 1 point each. Yeah.
क्या है स्प्लिट ही हो रहा है क्या स्प्लिट हो रहा है
किसको करूं मैं
हाँ सेम
करना पड़ेगा ना किसी
Keep a tally of how many points you've got going forward. We'll move down. We'll do 2 more. So your next person, you can start engaging now. Yep. Okay, off you go.
Hi, how's it going?
Hey, what's up? China.
Every time. Not gonna lie. Who's the first one?
Remember, let's just not finish.
Get the rules.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Good job, man. Oh,
Okay, write down what you're going to put.
That's the way, best.
And then after 3, 1, 2, 3, show what you put to your partner.
Show me.
come on man trust me you need him
Is he still from here? You're all listening.
Okay, last time. So if you want to come down to the bottom, we'll have one person sitting out, and then we'll do this for the last go. Okay, off you go. Whoever's your new person that you're engaged with.
Let's guess.
Okay. Write down what you've decided. Whatever you've decided, write it down. And then after 3, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, you're dealing with everyone then?
Okay, show your partner whatever you put. Okay, now tally up how many tally up however many points you got. Okay, and then just keep a total of how many you got. Okay, who got more than 7 points? 7 or more. One person, 7 or more. 2 people, 3 people. Any more than 8? Did you get 8? Any higher than 8? You got 9. Did anybody get more than 9? You got 8. What was your name? Sorry. Emmanuel has won with 9 points. Congratulations. Not completely fair because some people missed a turn. Put the tables back together and then we'll get going again. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. I don't know if that's my fault.
Guys, I hang up.
There's a bit live.
No.
Sorry, that was partially my fault as well.
Like, what's your notes on the first thing? Sports finance is what?
Yeah.
Okay. So hopefully that was a wee bit of fun, bit of negotiation skill. Obviously, Emmanuel's not to be trusted wherever he is. Clearly stealing points from people as he was going through there. Okay, so I just want to, I suppose, use this first hour really to kind of get to know you. I'll tell you a little bit about myself, and then we'll pass over to you. We'll kind of do like a 30-second kind of summary about yourself. So I think I said yesterday I did the master's program that you're doing now, 10 years ago now. It was slightly different, but we still have the sport finance course, so you can be trusted that I know what we're talking about here. After that, I went to work in football for a bit. So I worked with Scottish football clubs for a while, particularly looking at the ownership and governance of clubs. And then I had the opportunity to go and work with the Scottish Football Association, doing my PhD around women's football and the women's national team when they qualified for the World Cup a few years ago. And I've been working here as a lecturer since then. What I would say is most of the staff that are working on this program, we are on teaching and scholarship contracts. And what that means to you is we don't do research. Well, we do research, but it's not part of our contract, right? So the scholarship part is supporting you and your journey here and making sure that you get the best from your time here. And what we're interested in predominantly is you having a good experience and enjoying it, first and foremost, but also that when you graduate, and when you go and get the gown and get tapped on the head and all that fun stuff, like in a year's time, you've got a job that you're going to, hopefully within the sports industry. So we're here to try and help you and your employability. So if there's anything or any stage you want to come and talk to us, you'll have your personal tutor, but we're all welcome to we're all very welcoming. If you want to come have a chat, please just come and knock on our door. I'm in J7 in Parfitt, so just send me an email if you want to meet face-to-face. I know some people don't like doing online meetings, so if you want to meet face-to-face, just drop me an email in advance and we can schedule a time. Okay. So keen to help you as much as we can. We said yesterday we all have different interests. Robert does a lot of stuff around placements and help people placements, but we all have kind of links within the sports industry. So if there is a sport in particular that you're interested to get involved in, just give us a wee email and see what we can do to help you. Okay, so that's a little bit about me. What I want to do is get to know a little bit about you. And I think particularly because I want to be able to know some of the things that we're talking about over the course of the module, right? I can adjust content accordingly based on the kind of sports that you're interested in or the particular interests you have with this master's. So what I would like to know from you is your name, where you're from, what you hope to achieve once you've done your MSc, and something a bit of fun, your favorite sports team or your favorite sports film. Okay, so for me, Andrew, I'm originally from London. You can tell I don't have my Scottish accent. I originally did my MSc because I wanted to progress my career. My favorite team is West Ham United, who the best team in the world, obviously. And I don't know why you're laughing. Or Space Jam with Bugs Bunny, greatest film. Okay, so Emmanuel, if you want to just quickly stand up, introduce yourself.
My name is Emmanuel. I'm from Nigeria. I recently just graduated from INSU University. I hope to achieve basically a good grade and probably learn more about the financial aspect of sports, like in depth of sports. My favorite team is Arsenal, and my favorite sports film is All or Nothing, Arsenal on Netflix. Yeah.
That's perfect. Okay. Yes, please.
My name is Victor. I'm from Peru, South America. My main objective is try to know how to manage a sport company. My favorite sport is football. My favorite team here in UK it's Arsenal.
Well, okay, that's bad luck. Okay. Yep, please.
I'm Kate. I'm from the west coast of the U.S. I wanted to come here because I want to learn more about the Scottish women's soccer scene, and I say my favorite sports team is probably the Seattle Sounders.
It's what? Sorry.
Seattle Sounders.
Oh, Sounders. Okay, nice.
I don't
Yeah.
watch much sports teams.
Okay, that's cool.
I'm Astor. I'm from Hong Kong, and I'm doing my master here because I want to know this industry more. And my favorite team is Los Angeles Lakers.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Maho. I'm from Japan, and I just graduated from INTU, University of Stirling. And in the future, I want to engage in the promotion sector in sport industry. And I've been interested in parasport, especially since the Olympic and Paralympic was held in Japan in 2021. And I'm supporting Japan national rugby team. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Gitesh Uswal and I am from India. And I took MSc because I want to try for sports events management. So, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Oh, yeah, either or. Whoever wants to go first.
My name is Wu Nan, and I'm from China. And I get a Chinese sports agent. So I want to study here. Help me to get a FIFA football agent.
Okay.
So because I want to help my country improve their football ability, because my country football is so terrible.
But lovely shirt, so winning on the style count. Very nice, yeah. I was admiring that.
My favorite football team is Manchester United.
Okay, well, they will come up several times over the course of this module. Yes, please.
My name is Prachiti. I am from India. I want to get engaged in sports events. That's it.
Okay. Any particular sports that you like, or football? Okay. Yes.
My name is Sanjay and I'm from India. I'm hoping to engaging towards the managing side of tennis. So I'm into tennis.
Tennis.
So yeah, I'm
Okay.
hoping to manage some tennis players. And
Okay.
my favorite club is Manchester United.
Okay.
Yeah. See you.
All right.
My name is Hong. I come from China. I just graduated from INSU in here. My favorite sport is archery because I was an athlete, and I want to learn more knowledge about sport to contribute to my country, the development of sport as another way. My favorite sport team maybe Korea country's team because they are very good at archery.
Archery.
Right,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Great. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, my name is Zheng Zhedong. My English name is Ray, so you can call me Ray.
Ray.
And I'm from Shanghai, China. And I was a baseball professional athlete. I love baseball, so I come to here to study. I want to study more sports knowledge, and my favorite sport team is Boston.
Boston.
Yeah.
The Red Sox. Nice.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too. Let's go to the table at the back there. Yep, please.
My name is Ma Lingyun, and call me Lingyun. I'm from China too, and I used to be a beach volleyball player, and I just want to study in here to learn some knowledge to help maybe my school team or the better national team.
Okay.
And my favorite sports, absolutely, it's beach volleyball.
Beach volleyball. Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, my name is Qin Zheng. You can come Gary. I come from China too. I come here to learn some skills in management. My favorite sport is basketball. My favorite sports team maybe is Lakers in NBA. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Cool. Thank you.
My name is Jay, and I'm from China. My favorite sport is indoor volleyball. And I'm here to learn some knowledge about to manage a sports team, especially like the high performance team.
Okay.
And my favorite sports team is the national volleyball team of Japan.
Okay. Cool. All right. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Cici. I come from China. I teach in the Scotland, sir. I can meet a more different friends, and I can get a higher level. And my favorite sport movie is China Women's Volleyball.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Well, my name is Jimmy Lin. I come from China too. And I'm here to study so manage to be a better and sports worker, even to manage a company in China. And I want to meet more international friends here. And my favorite sport team is Los Angeles Lakers.
Okay. Great. Thank you. Okay, we'll go to the table at the back and work our way down. Whoever wants to go first. Yeah.
I'm Heather. I'm from Scotland. I just started working in women's football, so I'm here to better my knowledge and also move into club football. My favourite sports team is Arsenal.
Did you do your undergrad here as well, Heather? Did you say that? Okay. What did you study undergrad?
Sports studies.
You did sports studies. Okay. Great.
Hi, I'm Sophie. I'm from Scotland as well. I'm here to do my master's to manage my career progression and also to support the work that I do outside of university. I feel lots of skills and happy.
Great.
Hi, my name is Sudhir Tavakar. I'm from India, and I'm here to gain some more hands-on experience about operations. My two favorite sports film, one is Moneyball and one is Haiku.
What's the second one? Sorry. Haiku.
Japanese anime movie. about
Okay.
volleyball.
All right. Nice. Okay. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Shisho. I'm also from India. I dream to become a football agent in the near future, and my favorite sports team is Real Madrid. And my favorite sports film is Race. It's a movie on Jesse Owens. It's a biography on Jesse Owens. So that's my favorite movie. And yeah, that's it. Thank
Okay.
you.
Great. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Shovik and I'm studying MSc. I'm from India as well. I'm studying MSc Sports Management because I want to go back to India and start my own agency and help people from grassroots levels from itself. And my favorite sport is cricket.
Okay.
And I support Aston Villa in EPL.
Aston Villa.
And
Wow.
you would like it because
Well, no, but you know, hey,
Thank
it's the wrong claret and blue, but you know, okay.
I'm Eleanor. I'm also from Scotland. I'm just here to learn. Really, I really like most sports, and my favorite team is probably Ferrari.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Yes, please.
Hello everyone, come from China. My favorite sport is football. One of the reasons I'm come to UK is I want to witness Manchester City beat United at Etihad Stadium.
At least you're honest. Yeah, appreciate that. Yep.
Hello, my name is Jatin. I'm from India, and I hope to gain some knowledge about sports and I'll help my country towards the sports. And my favorite team is Indian cricket team, and I am a professional cricketer in India as a state player as well.
Great. Okay. Thank you.
My name is Marilu. I'm from Spain, and the reason I'm here at Stirling is it's because I'm interested in the development from grassroots football into professional football, more specifically just the SWPL.
Okay. I never knew you were from Spain.
Yeah.
No, because your accent's like not Spanish,
Not
right?
quite right.
No. Yeah. Okay.
So, hi, my name is Kaustubh. I'm from India, Bombay. So my genre is to work in events and operations. And as I said, I come from India. So yeah, I support Indian national cricket team. And also in IPL, even though I live in Mumbai, I like to support Royal Challengers Bangalore because that's where Virat Kohli plays in.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Hi, I'm Rohan. I like football and it's going to be a bit weird. My favorite team is Tottenham Hotspur.
Arsenal and Tottenham the same way.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's going to be a bit tough, a bit of a derby. My favorite movie will be Goal, The Dream Behind.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
Being a classic over a while.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then why I want to do this course, just want to understand what happens behind this course, learn about it, and then get back to my community and implement it. So
Okay.
that's what I want.
Okay. Good to know. Thank you.
Myself Sudeep from India, and why I want to do MSc in sports management is to learn about management stuff behind the team and management. So my favorite team is Cricket Australia.
Okay.
So that's it.
Yeah, they're playing right now, right, against England. I won't mention what the score is. I'm sure England will win it. And then, yeah, last but not least.
Hi, my name is Seva and I'm from Scotland. My hope is to use this as a stepping stone to potentially do a PhD in areas of social issues and class. Favourite sports team is Man United, and my favourite sports film has to be Rush. So I like Eleanor, the fact that she's a Ferrari fan. And yeah, I think that's about it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Katie. I'm from Scotland too. What I want out of my MSc is I started a job in events, so I would quite like to support it. And my favourite sports team is probably Scottish Rugby right now. So.
What's the job doing?
It's events, so like running events.
Okay.
So
In
like,
sports specifically?
Yeah, so it's like they done the Edinburgh Marathon.
Oh, okay.
So working with them.
Great. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Right. I'm Charlie. I'm from Scotland. What I want to achieve, I want to learn more about the business of football and all that kind of stuff. My favourite sports team's team from Edinburgh called Hearts, and my favourite sports, well, it's not a film, but it's Ted Lasso. You should watch it, it's on Apple TV. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Nitish. I'm from India. I'm hoping to, learn something about management stuff and all behind the scenes again. My favorite sports team would be Indian cricket team. I'm gonna get to myself, so yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lovely stuff. Thank you. And last but not least.
Hi, I'm Ashwin, and I'm from India as well. And I wanted to get into sports, even organizations and all that. I'm more of an individual sport kind of guy, so I like athletics and badminton.
Athletics and badminton. Okay, perfect. All right. Any particular team that you like? Or?
As of athletes, it's going to be Norwegian.
Norwegian.
middle distance, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Ingebrigtsen and Jamaican sprinters.
Okay, nice. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. That's good. So that's helpful for me because I can just pick up on a few themes that are kind of running in quite a lot of interest in football, but also other sports as well, Formula One, cricket, volleyball. So good to, we'll try and incorporate a range of different sports over the course of the module. I don't want to make it too football centric, which there is a danger of in Scotland. Okay, so sort of in terms of expectations, I suppose just to set this out from the start, attendance on time, please. I say that because I know I was late yesterday for the session, so I do appreciate there's a slight irony there, but really important to attend all the session all the way from the start, okay? Do engage with the module and all the additional stuff that's on Canvas. That's there for your benefit to kind of help guide your learning. There's lots of additional resource that gets put on Canvas, okay? So different screenings, different readings, different activities for you to do. Please do engage with that in between our weekly sessions. Everyone's going to have a different level of comfort with finance. So who hasn't ever studied finance at all in any shape or capacity? Yep. Okay. So quite a few people, and that's absolutely fine. As I say, we're not expecting you to be accountants when you come out of there. And it's absolutely okay if you want to ask for further support as well. So I can do whatever I can to help you, and I will do whatever I can to help you. But there's also further support from Canvas, but also the student learning services as well. I appreciate that can be quite a big adjustment period, particularly for those of you that are coming to study in the UK for the first time, and different kind of expectations from assessments. So we know that, and we build that into our thinking with the assessments. So it's absolutely fine if there's additional support needed at the start. I'm going to try and make finance fun, right? I know that's quite a challenge, but it sounds, you probably looked at your module list and you thought, but I will try and make it as engaging as I can. And we won't just be you listening to me talk. We're going to do different kinds of things over the course of these 3 hours. And I have highlighted that there is quite a lot of football content. And that's kind of natural because that's the way Scottish sport is very kind of geared towards. But I'm also going to try and use as many other different sports as I can, where I can. Okay. Any questions about any of that? Does that all sound okay to everyone? Yeah. Okay, so Canvas. So I know you probably would have had a walkthrough on it yesterday. Is anyone not set up with Canvas yet? Everyone's got access to Canvas? So on Canvas, I'd quite like to show you some of the stuff. So if you go to Learning and Teaching, all the information for our classes, hopefully you found this already, but this is on here. This is the wrong thing. So all the details of our classes are here, okay, on the classes page. Each week there's 3 different questions that are set for you to have a little think about. That can be before the session based on the readings, okay? And you can tell how each of the topics for the classes are kind of geared towards the learning outcomes. So L01 and L02, that's the learning outcomes, which you can find on the homepage of Canvas. If you go into week 1, each page has got the same layout. So we're recording this session. If you want to go back and watch it at any point, that's absolutely fine. It will be available to view there after the lecture. I'll also upload the slides so you can go back and have a look at them. Key readings are suggested there. There's also some additional recommended further ones if you really want to. When we do activities in class, I'll upload the activity on here in advance so you can go onto Canvas during the class and download it, because there will be kind of spreadsheets that we'll use. Has everyone got Microsoft Excel? Yeah. Has anybody not got Microsoft Excel? Okay. There will be classes where you'll need to do you'll need your laptop basically to do the exercises alongside. If you haven't got a laptop, that's fine. I think Claudio highlighted that you can borrow them from the library. And then each week we do a quiz as well. We'll come to that later on. There's also additional resource on the classes page. So if you go to the top here, there's a glossary of terms and other resources. This is where, I don't know how you like to learn. I've got a dog, Toby. I mentioned that yesterday. I take him out like 3 times a day and I just listen to podcasts, and that's how I do my learning and know what's going on. So if you're like me and you like podcasts, there's some recommendations there. I particularly like the Price of Football one, but the Sports Agents one is good. The rest of them are American from memory, but it's also very helpful just to know, have an idea of what's going on stateside as well. Okay. Sorry, one other thing I forgot to mention. Weekly discussions. So one thing I'd quite like to do each week is have a discussion page. Obviously, some of you have found the discussion page for this week, and you've introduced yourselves, which is fantastic. Thank you very much for that. What I'm going to do each week is ask you to share a story from within the news industry that relates to finance in some way, okay? So it can be whatever sport that you're interested in, something that you've come across reading. It could be on BBC, you're just browsing on BBC or ESPN or wherever you get your news from, okay? And just share a story and explain why it's relevant to what we're talking about. And we'll have a quick discussion at the start of each week about some of the key things. So this isn't just some sort of abstract course, but actually you can see how this relates to real life in the sports industry. Is everyone okay with that? It would take you 5 minutes to just share something that you've read over the course of that week. Okay. Okay. So an overview of what we're going to do over the course of the next few months. I think our last session is December the 3rd, and then you're free from me for a couple of weeks until we start back again in January. So today, obviously, we're going to do a quick introduction to the module. Next week, we're going to have a look at ownership. So actually, who owns sport and why does ownership matter? What are the different structures that sports organizations take? And how does that affect how they might be funded? Okay, so this is quite important to think about when we're thinking about community sport versus professional sports. We've got 2 weeks on budgeting because this is feeding into your first assignment. So we'll do budgeting in theory, and we'll have a look at the 9 steps of budgeting in theory. And then the second week of budgeting is going to be a lot more you doing budgeting, so budgeting in practice, using Excel, using spreadsheets, and that is all geared to your first assessment, which is due mid-semester, so it's actually not far from now. You've got about a month. Okay, and then if you think of that as week 5, so week 6 will be costing, pricing, and decision making, and we'll get you doing some running a football club for real, not for real, on your phone, but it's understanding how pricing and decision making affects different aspects of running a football club. Then we'll start thinking about your second assignment. So we're going to be thinking about understanding financial information. So we'll be looking at balance sheets, profit and loss accounts. So understanding what a bank, a financial statement says. What does that mean? What can we tell about the organization based on the documents that they share? We've got the triple bottom line. So we're going to be thinking about, okay, how do we document financial activity, but also social activity? Yeah, organizations are more than just balance sheets. So what do they do in terms of sustainability and social value? So not just financial, but also wider value. And then we'll have a look at how to finance and value a sports organization. So what is a sports organization worth, and how do different organizations attain a certain value? Last 2 weeks, one is around fundraising. So this is more about community sport and then professional sport, and what does that look like for those organizations before the future of sports finance, when we're going to be looking at things like Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in sport. That is when your second assignment is due as well. And we'll come on to what those assignments are in a wee bit. Okay, so I've mentioned that we've got the Canvas resources. That's where kind of everything you'll need to access will be put on Canvas, okay? But we'll also have the 10 sessions face-to-face over 12 weeks, which will give you opportunities for the kind of traditional lecture-style stuff, but also group work, quizzes, discussions, formative assessments as well. Okay, so I mentioned 2 assessments. Your first one, I think this is the first one for your overall masters, is due on the 22nd of October at 12 noon. I think Claudio said they're all going to be at Tuesdays at 12, and you're going to submit it via Canvas on Turnitin. That's worth 40%, okay, of your grades, and that's lesser than the second one because we know it's your first one, so we don't want to put too much pressure on you on the first assignment. And yeah, so it's a kind of a smaller percentage than the second one, which is 60%. Your kind of main textbook is this top one, Sport Funding and Finance. That's where most of the readings come from. It will be available in the library, but as Claudia said yesterday as well, you'll be able to access it online, along with Robert Wilson's Managing Sport Finance book. If you're interested in doing additional stuff, which is always recommended, academic journal is always good, but then Off the Pitch and The Price of Football, they're both football-specific ones. Okay, and we've got 6 outcomes for the module. So in terms of your understanding and your development, hopefully by the end of it, you will be able to say that you can do all 6 of these things. So the first one being to understand the importance of finance and business in contemporary sport. Second one, understanding the dichotomy between sport and business. So how is it similar and how is sport different from other industries? Thirdly, to understand and interpret critically the economic concepts that underpin the structure of professional sport. So that's where we're looking at different types of organizations in sport. Fourth, we're going to look at financial information, where we're going to be looking at the balance sheet and we're going to be able to look at profit and loss statements, for example. 5, based on that understanding, how can we critically assess an organization? So looking at a balance sheet, where are the strengths and weaknesses of that organization? Okay. And then finally, understand why good financial management is important to the viability of sports. Okay, so that's kind of enough background about the module. Any questions about the module more broadly before we get into sport finance more specifically? Everyone kind of comfortable with that? Yeah? Great. So, how much does the sport industry generate? The total sports industry globally was valued at 620 billion in last year, with projections to reach 826 billion by 2030. So pretty big industry we're talking about here. If you're thinking you're worried that there's not going to be enough jobs in sport when you graduate, don't worry, there will be plenty of jobs in sport. Media rights themselves generated around 52 billion. So when we're talking about media rights, we're talking about the deals that were done for the NBA in America, for example. So how much did ESPN pay for the rights to show the NBA on their network? Okay, so the media rights alone, $52 billion, which was around 40%. So this is quite a shift if you think about how sport was funded maybe 50 years ago, okay? Huge shift in the way that the sports industry has gone. You can imagine 50 years ago, what do you think the kind of main driver of finance would have been around 50 years ago? Now around, sorry?
Ticket sales.
Brilliant. Yep, ticket sales, perfect. Anything else?
Merchandising.
Merchandise, yep.
Online streams. Like online streaming places like ESPN, like online. So people would like pay to.
Like now?
Yeah, no, well, oh no.
50 years ago.
Right.
I'm old, but the internet wasn't that advanced back then. Okay, yeah. So, but absolutely, ticket sales, sponsorship being another key driver. So these are things that they're still important to sports industry. Okay, but the media rights are now kind of the biggest driver, the single biggest driver. You've now got the global betting market projected to reach $155 billion. And the sports merchandise market as well, 34 billion. Okay, so just some numbers to kind of emphasize the sheer scale of it. And another kind of little task for you. Okay, so we're going to get you into. I've put 2 groups, but I think that we've got more people than I anticipated. So let's just do 6 groups. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so in your groups, I want you to have a chat about what you think are the 15 most valuable sports franchises in the world. Okay, so think about what that term means, valuable. Okay, but this is by Forbes magazine from this year. And you've got to try and name as many of the 15 as you can. So as a background, there's going to be 9 NFL teams from the States. There's going to be 1 baseball team. There's going to be 2 football teams, and there's going to be 3 basketball teams. Okay. And then once you've had a conversation, keep that to yourselves. Have a little think about how many of those 15 you're confident you've got right, and we'll have a little challenge amongst the groups. Okay. So I'll give you 5 minutes to try and work out the top most valuable sports organizations in the world.
What the NFL teams?
Real Madrid and Man United.
Yeah.
The basketball teams will be Lakers, Boston, maybe. Yeah, we had Larry Bird and stuff like that. The Chicago Bulls, yeah. That's the three I would say. And then probably overseas. Kansas Chiefs.
Yeah, I think
I don't have any idea what the Gals they think. They got the Super Bowl years ago. Patriots, surely. 48, is it 49ers or the 49ers? Surely Patriots. New England Patriots.
What do you guys think?
What? I don't watch football. I don't know much of football. Do you watch basketball? Do you know that? Oh, really?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt, it's Miami.
You know, Hearts, huh? Who's going to be the next Hearts manager?
Charlie, he's the Hearts fan.
Oh, sorry. Why did I think you? Sorry.
Well,
Who's going to be the next Hearts manager?
well, you know Tony Blood.
Yes, he's going to buy the club, right?
He's invested 10 million, so Hearts can then use his for
I know
stuff.
And then if it works, he then buys a minority stake, which is 25%, because Hearts are fan owned.
Yeah,
it's a wee bit different.
Yeah.
But he involved. That came out today.
The Chiefs, Patriots,
Someone
Cowboys.
from Wow. Yeah, it was no one.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
I know Elliot.
Yeah, something like that.
I said the LA Rams.
What's the 76ers?
Michigan. I just need to have a look at the names. I'm not good.
Yeah, that's what
I just need to like.
Oh my. What's it, sorry?
There's this Texas thing, I think. Couldn't get the name, but
I do.
Kansas.
They won the Super Bowl last year.
Green Bay Packers, I feel like they're quite big.
I don't think it's
Because the Yankees are the
yeah. Green Bay Packers.
How many followers as well?
Okay, last minute. Give you one more minute.
The Cincinnati Bengals.
Minnesota Vikings.
don't know any of them. So for the
France, Spain,
Lakers, we have like
Well, is it different between the Yankees and Giants?
The ones from America as well.
Right.
We gotta get
We can.
So Minnesota
It's came out data.
Okay, this is the
Google the most valuable.
I just put the NFL TV and have them guess a lot. Yeah, I know the top two for sure. Cowboys is the what is that?
NFL.
Yeah.
Be there to see.
Yeah. Definitely like two in Canada and the rest of the I'm trying to think what. Is it? Yeah.
three big teams.
I got you.
New York.
I would say Boston.
Yeah.
Just gotta think
Okay, right. So what I'd like to know is from each team how many you are confident of getting. Okay, so I'd say like 90% confident. Okay, and then so group at the back, how many do you think you've got out of 15? 13. Okay. Group here? Yeah. How many do you think you got? 13? 4. Okay. Okay. Table here? 8. Table here? How many do you think you've got? 8. Table here? You think you've got 14? Okay. And then table here, table.
Delusional confidence.
Okay, so listen up. Charlie's team think they can get 14. That was the highest. So we're going to give them a shot at naming 14 of the 15 teams, and we can just see how we get on. After you, whenever you're ready.
Okay. So for foot.
Okay, guys, listen up.
So for the two football clubs, you've got Real Madrid. And okay.
Okay. Yep.
So Real Madrid and the English team is Man United.
Okay.
Charlie.
For the NBA, we thought the LA Lakers, Boston Celtic, and Chicago Bulls.
Golden State Warriors.
Huh?
Golden State Warriors.
Oh, right. Well,
you got 4 clubs.
Baseball, the New York Yankees.
Okay, yep.
The NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs, the New England Patriots, the Dallas Cowboys, the LA Rams, Philadelphia Eagles, the New York Jets, the Green Bay Packers, Miami Dolphins, and New York Giants.
Okay, very close. Does anybody disagree? Does anyone think there's maybe a club been missed off their list? No? Anyone they definitely disagree or don't disagree?
What did you say about the football?
The football, they had Real Madrid and Manchester United. Everyone happy with that? What about the baseball team? No disagreements on the baseball team? Dodgers? Okay.
I went to the Dodgers.
Okay, so I think you got 10, so you're pretty good. Well done. The actual answers are on the board there. So you've got the Dallas Cowboys as the most valuable sports organization in the world. They're $9 billion. New York Yankees, Golden State Warriors, New England Patriots, the Los Angeles Rams, the Giants, the Chicago Bears, the LA Raiders, not the LA Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders, New York Kicks, Jets, Real Madrid, Washington Commanders, Man United, the 49ers, and the Lakers.
I was definitely made up by an American. I was definitely made up by an American.
Oh yeah.
There's no chance in the NFC we can break it.
Okay, so what I'd like you to do now is just have a little bit of a think. Obviously, we're talking about sports finance. And I want you to have a think about who actually needs to understand sport finance, okay? So who actually needs to, yes? 15. You got 15? Oh, fair play. Okay. You didn't look up the list on Forbes? It was a coincidence that I walked past your laptop and you had it open. No. Okay, so if you can scan the QR code, right, and pop on our Mentimeter, who you think needs to understand sport finance? Yes, 1 second. It'll come up on here.
I'm moving the wrong way.
And if you haven't got a phone or anything, you can go to menti.com and pop the code in at the top there if you want to do it on your laptop.
No, you should be
Okay, so have a little think. Who do you think needs to understand sports finance?
One's plenty. Betsy's body. What did you put?
Some good answers. Particularly like university kids.
Right? I am in electronics.
Okay, start going through some of these then. So we've got investors. Why would an investor need to know about sports finance?
It just needs to understand where his money is going and what's happening with his money.
Okay, good. So if you've got some money invested in an organization, you want to know how that organization is performing and whether you're going to get some of that money back. How many investors do you think get their money back from sport? Not a lot of people. No. I mean, there's like 2 clubs
It's
in.
mostly their interest that they put their money in, but they just need to have it back how it's going.
Yep, good. Okay. Somebody's put the sports managers. Yeah, yeah. What do you mean, the managers of the team?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why would they need to know sports finance?
So that they can measure all the impact of the finance on the organizations or on the club.
Okay, good. All right. Sports financial analysts. Who pops that one up? It's right. Just don't like to. Who popped financial analysts up? No one wants to own up to financial analysts. I mean, you're right. So if you're analyzing the sports industry, you're going to need to know about how organizations are performing, right? If you're writing about it, there are lots of, newspapers and websites that are dedicated to this kind of thing. The fans, who put the fans? Yeah. Why do fans need to know?
I mean, basically, right now, fans are like, after like the owners, the managers, the next in line is like the fans, because they literally can control, like, they have a big influence in the club.
Yep.
If the club is doing well. So
Yep.
you really have to know.
Good.
What's like Manchester United, the Glazers.
Yeah.
As a good example.
Good. Okay. Yeah. So fans, important stakeholders in the club. They have influence in how the club does, right? They can choose to not turn up to a game if they think the club is not being managed well, and they could, stop revenue going into the organization. Who else we got here? Sponsors. Why do sponsors need to understand sport finance?
They're putting money into the organisation, so they want to see if it's profitable.
Yeah, good. Why else might a sponsor want to understand?
If that fan base uses whatever your product is, then they're more likely to sponsor that team or club.
Good. So they're perhaps interested on whether there's a return on their investment. So if they're putting £5 million into a sponsorship deal, are they going to get 10 million back in profit? Good. Okay. University kids, yourselves, why would you need to know about sport finance?
Pass classes.
Sorry?
Pass the classes.
To pass the class. Yeah, certainly to pass classes. Yeah, okay. Any other reasons?
To understand the business side of sport.
Yeah, good. Because hopefully next year you're all going to be working in sport, right? Like that's the goal, I'm sure, for a lot of you. So you'll be presented with financial information when you're in those roles. Perhaps you're already working in sport, and you need to have some understand of perhaps what a budget is and how much money you've got and how that is going to last over the course of the year. Okay, good. Anything else here that's... The athletes, good. Professional athletes, why would the athletes need to understand sport finance? Yep.
So that they can make smart financial decisions and secure their future regarding the finances.
Absolutely, yeah. So they might be thinking about the future themselves. Okay, they're generating money now, but they may be thinking about what they're going to do in the future. A lot of players don't particularly manage their money well and end up bankrupt. Why else would they want to know about finance?
Help them to get a clear view about their next step in their career.
Yeah, good. Anything else?
Since they are being sponsored by a company, so they should be knowing about the finance as well.
Yeah, good. Because if you've got presented the choice between a club which perhaps could go bankrupt and a club that's doing pretty well, but the club that are doing pretty well aren't paying as much, you've got a decision to make, right, about which organization to join. Yeah, you might also want to know whether you're getting paid as much as the next player, right? Well, how much are you worth? Good. Somebody's put stakeholders. What does stakeholders mean? What does a stakeholder mean in general?
Someone who is holding a share in the
organization.
Okay, holding a share.
Investing the money in the team as well.
Okay, yeah. So it could be shareholders and investors. They would be examples of stakeholders.
Someone who has like an interest.
Somebody that has an interest. Yep. So you could be a fan.
Owners of the team?
Sorry?
Owners of the team?
Owners of the team would be a stakeholder, yeah. But yeah, more generally, just anyone that has an interest in that organization, right? So it doesn't actually have to be a stake in the way that we would think of a financial stake. It could be just an interest in the organization. So it could be fans, sponsors, the media, community. So in short, all of these different stakeholders need to have some understanding of how Sportworks and finance. So in simple, everyone needs to know about it. So yeah, that was the long one. Okay, so we're going to try again. We're going to do why is sports finance, knowing what we've just said there about why everyone needs to know about it. We're going to have a think about why sports finance is different from other types of finance or different sectors. What are some of the things that make sports different? So here we're thinking about what makes sports finance different from finance if you were just studying business. Okay. Oh, that says what is the most useful part of this meeting. That's not right. Okay, start going through some of these. So let's have a look at this one. Based on team performance sometimes. Who popped that up? Yeah? What do you mean by that, Kate?
Like only sometimes because like for instance Dallas Cowboys, they suck. But they still make good money for their sport, for their team because of what they used to like what they're known for.
Yeah.
But sometimes like other teams like they're doing good, their sports like their finance is good, but they kind of going bad.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Okay. So for some of the organizations, they are sort of guaranteed revenue just because of their name, perhaps, rather than how they've performed. Okay. Good. Not stable. Who put not stable? Anybody put not stable? It's right. They want to just explain that a little bit further. Yeah.
Because all athletes have different conditions, like physically or mentally, so they cannot be sure if they can make profit or not.
Okay, there's no security. Yeah, good. So this is a big difference between the American setup of leagues and the European setup of leagues is there is, well, pretty much no relegation or promotion in America. So you can buy a club in America and be sure that you're going to generate certain revenue. Whereas in Britain or Europe, for example, the relegation and promotion system means that you could buy West Ham United and they could get relegated this season, right? So there's no guarantee around ever seeing any of that money ever again. Okay, so yeah, it's not stable in that sense. You could buy an asset and it could be worth a lot less in a year's time, depending on which division they're playing in, right? Okay, good. Market value is different for different teams and clubs. Who popped that up? Yep. Do you want to explain?
Because in cricket there is a market. Those teams have different funds and all, so those finances will be different.
Yep.
For football, it will be very different. Football within the country will be very different. Different teams have different values and different budgets as well.
Okay.
So that way it's very different for.
Yep.
financial.
Good. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. One around sports-based finance and one around commercialization. What do you mean by that?
Most of the teams do some kind of advertisements. In India, if IPL happens, there are many kind of advertisements which are from which they get the amount of profit.
Okay.
And they want to take a team to watch their matches, and they get the commercialization in that.
Okay. Okay. Good. All right. Good. What else? What else can you think of that would be different between sports finance and other types of finance? Let's hear from one of our Formula One fans. What about Formula One? How is Formula One different from other businesses? What are the kind of things that makes Formula One different?
Their own sponsors.
Own sponsors? Yeah. Okay, good. Anything else? You hear my lack of Formula One knowledge now, but I think there's like a new cap on finances within Formula One in terms of what you can spend on the car. So there's limitations on how you can spend your money, right? Which is different from, no one's saying to if I say Tesco's, you guys know what I mean by Tesco's and Sainsbury's? Yeah, co-op kind of supermarkets in Britain. No one's saying to the co-op that they can't spend 30 million on advertising if they want to, right? Whereas Formula One, they've got a budget on how much they're allowed to spend on certain parts of the car, right? So there's restrictions there. Same with football and financial fair play. Okay. Anything else do you think? What would be one of the difficulties for a finance director of a sports organization? What would be some of the challenges in trying to create a budget for the next 5 years of a sports organization?
If the team owners would like to sign someone with a huge budget, but if that particular player is bought, but it's going to be affecting the other players of the team because you can't buy a similar or a very good player at the same price.
Okay, yeah, good. So there's a talent aspect to it as well, right? Acquiring talent, okay. Yeah, performance aspect, yeah. Age, yeah, okay, yeah. What do you mean by that?
So, I mean, there's some players, if they're above like 30, 35, some clubs can't like spend the amount of.
They won't pay for an older player.
Yeah.
Because why is that important?
Future.
Okay. So they were not going to be able to resell them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. You make me feel very old there. I mean, my professional career is long gone, but you know. Anything else that we think?
Like the cost of things within sport. So like if a team are having to, if they're not like a massive football team, obviously, but if you go into like other sports like netball, the cost of venues are rising, but the actual like condition that they're in is very poor. So you're very specific to where you can go, which means you're having to spend a lot of money just for a venue, and that doesn't include like getting somewhere having to work for the.
Yeah. Excellent. Yeah. So perhaps like the professionalization of some of aspects of sport are very different for one another. So so netball, not as professionalized in terms of the amount of money that's involved in it compared to a Formula One or a IPL cricket. Yeah, so facilities are an issue. There's kind of restrictions on what you can do there. Okay, good. Yeah.
Sometimes you can't plan for everything. Like, say for example in football, like a player might run down his contract and then leave for free.
Yeah.
Or he might stay. Like, it's like it's also based on, like, especially in football, what agents are trying to do as well. They're always looking for the best deal for their player, but you can't plan for anything as well at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of unforeseen circumstances that will arise in professional sport. Yeah, good. But still, what would be one of the dangers of trying to predict like a budget? Most Tesco's or Co-op, Sainsbury's will have a 5-year plan. Most clubs will have a plan, but what would be one of the issues that perhaps those supermarkets won't have?
Sports really unpredictable.
Yeah. Sports really unpredictable. Might not know what division you're going to be playing in, what players you're going to have, like how the team's performing, whether you're going to have a different manager. All of these things make it very, very hard to kind of plan for the long term, which doesn't mean that we shouldn't do it, but it's just very unpredictable. Okay, good. Thank you very much. So we can see how sport would be, why we're not just doing a finance course, but we're doing a sports finance course, is because of the challenges that come with sport might be very different to other types of sectors. Okay, so why is financial management so important? Well, kind of 8 reasons here. First one is loss of managerial control. So if you are an organization and you're not performing particularly well, you might lose control of the organization. You might have creditors, so people that you owe money to, perhaps that you owe money to the government, and they can take control of your organization or bring in administrators, okay? We'll look at all of these terms as we go through, so don't worry too much just now if it sounds tricky. The second one, an inability to accurately measure performance, is another tricky one that we need to think about here. So we don't know what success looks like relatively. Falling asset values. So we sign a player now for 50 million, but he might lose his value, or she might lose her value over that course of that contract, and we might not be able to redeem that asset value at some point later down the line. Increasing levels of debt. If you look at statistics, most sports clubs actually aren't financially viable. They've got huge amounts of debt. Escalating costs. You mentioned facilities there. If we're thinking about community sports, for example, the cost of actually renting a pitch to play football or a netball court or a basketball court, all of these costs are going up because of cost of living, crises around the world. So escalating costs make running sport actually very, very tricky. Lack of cash. So if you think about a sports organization, their season doesn't run all the year through, does it? It's often for a part of the year. So what do they do over those months of the year where they don't have new income coming into the organization? Well, they need to think about the cash flow of the organization. Operating losses. So how do they stay solvent? That's a word that we'll come to later on, staying solvent. And liquidation as well, if things get really, really bad. So we'll have a bit of an example here. We've got loss of management control. So we've got the Cricket South Africa faced a governance crisis in 2019 with accusations of corruption and mismanagement. And this led to a suspension by its own governing body of the ICC, with sponsors pulling out and a financial decline, with many blaming mismanagement at the top. So if they haven't managed funds particularly well, they can risk losing control of the organisation. We think about an inability to accurately measure performance. We've got the F1 team here, struggled to assess financial performance during its operation. Poor revenue projections and overspending led to financial difficulties. And the team went to administration, eventually folded in 2014. Falling asset values. We've got Chinese Basketball Association teams. During the pandemic, the league was suspended, sponsorship deals collapsed, and player contracts were renegotiated, leading to a devaluation of the teams. So the teams themselves lost the value. Saracens Rugby Club, they've got quite a lot of debt. Rugby clubs are really struggling at the moment. So Saracens Rugby Club in the UK penalised and relegated from the Premiership for breaching salary caps. So they had a salary cap in rugby league that they violated, leading to escalating debts. The club's financial mismanagement, particularly around player salaries, resulted in heavy fines and restructuring. We've got escalating costs. So the Sochi Winter Olympics, very good example of escalating costs. Originally budgeted at 12 billion, but came in at over 50 billion. So if we think about actually how to manage the cost of running these events, so it's 5 times as much as it was due to cost, making it the most expensive Winter Olympics in history, and creating a long-term financial burden for Russia. Lack of cash. Toulouse FC, French football club, faced financial difficulties in 2020 after relegation from League One, which caused a significant drop in broadcast revenue and ticket sales. The club struggled to pay wages and had to be sold to new ownership to avoid further financial issues. Got operating losses as well. So Australian Super Rugby teams consistently posted operating losses in the mid-2010s. Poor attendance, sponsorship deals, and competition from other sports like AFL caused teams to lose millions annually, leading to significant restructuring efforts by Rugby Scotland, Rugby Australia. And we've got liquidation as well. So this is when the club can't meet any of its debts. Bury FC was liquidated in 2019 after 125 years due to financial mismanagement. So this is perhaps the most severe that can happen, but it does happen even within football, which is a very well-attended sport. The club was unable to pay its debts, players and staff, resulting in its expulsion from the English Football League. Now they've started again as another fan-owned club, but that company itself was liquidated. So one of the things we're going to look at over the course of the module is how finance affects different types of sports and at different kind of aspects of the industry. So we can have a look at this diagram, and this kind of shows how sport might look at a state level, the market level, and the civil society level, okay? And state, what we're talking about here is the kind of public sector. So we're thinking here about the likes of Sport Scotland, the governing body for sport in Scotland, or Sport England. They're receiving money directly from the government, okay? So they're funded by the government, they're funded by the taxpayer, and they have the kind of mission of encouraging participation in sports. They're non-profit, so their aim is around participation, not making money. But they'll have an interest in these aspects of sport finance because they'll be thinking about facilities, cost of running facilities. There's going to be things that affect them around how do they measure how well their money is spent. Okay, so one of the things we're going to look at later on is something called a social return on investment. So why would Sport Scotland fund sport? Why would the Scottish government fund sport in Scotland?
Increases people to be more self-conscious about how much activity they're getting.
Okay, so to encourage physical activity. And why would Sport Scotland be keen on that?
To reduce kind of non-communicable diseases.
Yep, good. And what would they hope that led to?
Less referrals to hospital, right? Bringing the costs down.
Yeah, good. Exactly that. So their kind of thought process here is if they can fund people to play sport, people hopefully are healthier, right? They're moving more, they're more physically active. If they're healthier, hopefully they won't be going to the hospital as much or using the doctors as much, which reduces the government spend in hospitals, right? So they're thinking actually if we have a healthier nation, we're going to have a social return on the money that we invest in sport by reducing spend elsewhere, people feeling happier, people being healthier. Okay, good. So Sport Scotland, so that we're thinking there at the kind of state, non-profit level. If we look at the market, that's the kind of more commercial aspect. That's the elite sports that we're thinking about. So that's your Arsenals, Manchester Uniteds. These are kind of companies that are trying to generate sporting return. And sporting return, but also, they'll be hoping there'll be some financial return in there as well. So the commercial sector, their funding is going to be very, very different from Sports Scotland's funding, which is through the taxpayers. So how are let's not use football, let's use the LA Clippers, for example, basketball team. How are they going to receive most of their funding? Sponsors? Sponsors? Match tickets? Yep. Merchandise?
Stakeholders.
Yeah, stakeholders fans will be buying tickets. Yeah. Streams, yeah. So broadcast deals, yeah. Good. So they're your main three, really. So everything can really come back to match day, which is people going to the game, buying a ticket, buying merchandise, buying a beer or a soft drink or whatever it is. Sponsorship, so people sponsoring to be associated with that organization, or the main one is now broadcasting. Okay. So they're funded very differently from sport at a state level, right? And then civil society is kind of this voluntary sector mishmash. So that's not necessarily funded by the government, but that is community voluntary organizations. So perhaps how many of you play for a sports team either here or back home? Okay, so most of those kind of community voluntary run organizations. Yep, so that's where you're going to kind of your informal voluntary sector, where the funding, how do you think those organizations are funded? Membership fees, yep. Sponsorship, yep, might have some sponsorship. Grants, yeah, sorry, I couldn't see where your voice was coming from. Yeah, grants, exactly. So they might get some grant funding, but that's, yep. So, yeah, it might be grant funding that they've got something from the government. Yeah, good. So you can see how all these three different types of organizations are funded and how they're funding, how they're reliant on their funding. And we can kind of have a look here about how that looks in Australia. So you can think about governments. You've got the Minister for Sport, Government Department, the Australian Sports Commission, the Australian Sport Anti-Doping Authority. So these are all national sports governing bodies. Then you've got states, and then you've got locals as well. So if we could apply that to Scotland as well, we would have the Scottish Government, you would have Sport Scotland, and then you would have active schools and kind of council-run sports organisations. Okay, we're not just going to look at professional sports, we're also going to look at non-profit organisations. So if we think about what a non-profit is, it's a term for an organisation that surprisingly doesn't make profit, but that doesn't mean that they don't run a surplus, and it's an important thing here. What's the difference, do we think, between a profit and a surplus?
Surplus means they are investing the money and they are getting that, but they are not getting some kind of profit.
Good. Yep. So a non-profit can make a surplus, which means that at the end of the year, they've met all their costs and they've got some money left over, but they're not taking that out and paying directors or anything. They're putting that money back into the organization. Okay. So say here, non-profits can make money and show profit within their accounts. So FIFA, technically, the governing body for world football, their reserves came to $1.8 billion. But it's a surplus because, in theory, that money can't be taken out and paid to directors. I say in theory because, FIFA, yeah. So we've got types of sporting non-profits. So we've got lots of different types of non-profit organisations. So they take numerous different forms, and it's particularly within the UK, Canada, Australia, Hong Kong. So we've got kind of community local sports clubs. So I've used one from down the road, Dunblane Soccer Club, kind of a big charitable organisation. They've got numerous different teams at different age groups. They're mostly volunteer run. That's kind of your smaller local community clubs. Then perhaps you've got your sports governing body. So the Scottish FA, if we stick to the theme of football here, the governing body for football in Scotland. Okay, so they're also a non-profit. Okay, they're the ones that perhaps charged with setting the rules, developing coaches, improving refereeing standards, facilitating rule changes, and also the national team, of course. And then you've got the kind of level up from that, so the sports governing body. So you can almost think of it as a tier. So you've got FIFA, a non-profit organisation. Okay. So the common traits between all of these, okay, so FIFA is much, much bigger than Dunblane Soccer Club, right? But they are both still non-profit organisations. So the common traits amongst them is that they are focused on non-profit status. Okay, they're more about providing sporting opportunities rather than generating a commercial return or perhaps sporting success. Okay, so they're going to be focused on supporting members, athletes, coaches, officials, administrators. Okay, they're also interdependent on each other. Okay, so Sports Scotland, the Scottish FA will need those community local sports clubs to develop players at a kind of a grassroots level, and they will feed into the system, which allows them to develop to the point where they perhaps go into a professional academy. And although mostly volunteer-led, they may have staff as well. You might have paid staff within a non-profit, so it's not like people don't get paid, but you might just have kind of a mismatch. Okay, so what we're going to do is you're going to have a look at the exercise for this week. So if you go onto Canvas and go to the seminar activity 1, you're going to have a think about the typical types of expenditure that occur in a non-profit sport and recreation organisation. So your task is to match the typical expenditures, so the spend of these organisations in Table A with the scenarios in Table B.
No, you don't have to. Or give me same here. There's 9 So
double 5.
And you go down to
reading
I don't know about that. Really bugs me.
So just if you're not clear where to find it, sorry, I just realised that some people haven't got Canvas set up yet. If you go to classes, you'll find our first activity, week 1. Okay, and if you scroll down to the bottom, you can download the document there. Okay, so have a look through Table A and see where they would go in Table B based on the scenario. Yeah. Your Canvas is working. This is the wrong one.
Oh, I was looking at table A, like group A, to like the other side, and I was like, why is this on that? Yeah. Oh, it's been such a long Is there more than one?
No, no, sorry.
No, but you don't have. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I got on you. You just have to read it.
I'm stuck on 3. I've got 1, 2, 5. Indoor basketball clinic
That would be A.
Actually, I don't really know what
I mean, running with the arms.
Yeah, I twice for talking to you.
I'm guessing number 4 is E.
Payments to coaches. I know you're doing hiring, of course.
Maybe that's basketball people. So D goes with 6.
Yes.
That's a fundraising campaign. Will be under number 4.
Paper and print.
The fundraise.
Yeah, a lot of them could go for both.
Yeah, that's why
Yeah, everything. This could be. The art union was just a bit real. Yeah. Try to fit in the art union.
All right. Okay.
That's completely right.
Oh, where are they? Oh, they're out.
They're in,
Charlie, I'm not going to trust what you're saying.
you need to go into cultural. Like go straight. Yeah.
You turn right. You're up that side.
Yeah. Like go to the A corridor.
You'll see them.
You'll see them. Yeah. Just look on the map. How's it? Yeah, that's a good. I don't see
Facility.
Yeah.
How's everyone getting on? Some people finished. Yep. Yep.
No, for yeah, no, but it could be that easy as well. And if you're running out of these methods, you take huge paper and print like canvas. So that's. And I don't know if they could. Oh no, 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 no.
Okay, we'll crack on. So hopefully you ended up with something that looks like that. So hopefully you had Group H for the Come and Try promotional event, Group B for the Junior Football Carnival, C for the fundraising campaign, E for the administration of the organisation, A for the running costs of the clubhouse, 6, the indoor basketball clinic would be D, facility maintenance costs for outdoors would be F, and then taking teams to national championships. G. Okay, everyone okay with that? Yep. Good. So you get a different sense of the types of things that are going to happen at a non-profit level. Okay, and now if we think about the kind of end of the spectrum, if you think about the grassroots, and then think about the kind of that commercial sector that we were looking at, the market on the pyramid, we've got a range of different stakeholders here. Okay, so as we said, stakeholders, people that have a vested interest in an organization, although not necessarily a financial investment. Okay, and we've got numerous different types of stakeholders here. So we've got the fans, obviously very important. They put a lot of money into the club, but they also have an emotional attachment to the organization. Technology partners will have an interest in the organization, using their equipment perhaps. The people that make the kit and the equipment, branding, marketing and sponsorship, health and sports medicine bodies, agents, etc. So a huge range of different stakeholders within the elite kind of professional commercial aspect of it. Okay, and what we've got here is a kind of a flow of money through professional sport. So when we're thinking about those elite clubs, now we could take the organization, we could use a cricket club, it could be a basketball club, it could be a baseball club, any kind of professional club would work in a similar way to this. But if you think of the fans of that organization at the starting point, because actually fans are the ones where all the money comes from. Okay, maybe not paying all the players' wages directly each week, but even through the subscriptions that they have. So, if you've got Sky Sports or TNT Sports or ESPN or Fox Sport, any of these broadcasts, if you have a subscription to it, well, that's how those broadcasters are paying for the rights to these sports. Okay, so all the money essentially comes from the fans. They're putting money into these broadcast and media partners, so whether that be Fox or Sky Sports or someone. Okay, they're paying it to the leagues and federations. Why are they paying leagues and federations money? Sorry? Broadcast rights. Yep, great. So they're paying for the rights to show those leagues on their feeds and their networks. Okay, that money is then going to the clubs. Why are they giving money to the clubs? Why are the leagues giving money to the clubs?
Increase the standard of the leagues.
Yep, to increase standards of the leagues.
Pay the players, like,
yes, yeah. Essentially, so they can participate in the league, right, and fulfill their fixture list. Yep, good. So then the clubs are a big catalyst themselves here. They're giving money to the players, of course, but they're also paying agents, and then players are also paying agents. So if you're an agent, you're doing very well here. You've got the clubs, they're also giving money to financial services. They might also be receiving that back. They are going to be paying owners. If the club does well, they might be paying dividends to a club, okay, which might be a percentage of their profits. But they'll also be receiving money from those investors as well, okay? We've got the other stakeholders that they might be paying, so they might have hospitals or insurance companies that they've got to pay because they want to make sure their athletes are safe and looked after. The clubs are also receiving money from ticketing and hospitality agents, okay, so they're getting money from fans directly, but they're also selling them through ticketing agents. We've also got fans putting money into brands and merchandise. Okay, so we'd be paying. I actually, for the first time, bought something on Fanatics.com. It kept coming up on my, when you look at something on Instagram and then even if you don't buy it, it just keeps coming up, right? So I eventually cracked, and that's peer pressure. But I just bought some stuff, and I don't even follow baseball really, but I bought some baseball stuff. Anyway, so that's how it works. And then you pay money to them, and then they pay money right back into the clubs, don't they, for the rights of it? And then why are clubs giving money to themselves? What do you see this little U-shaped arrow here.
For daily operations.
Tele operations? Yeah, okay.
Travel, accommodation.
Yeah. Staff? Go further. What do you mean by staff?
Like coaching staff or coaching staff, cleaners.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe ground maintenance too.
Yeah. A big one. Big one here. Why would clubs? What's the biggest sum of money that clubs are going to transfer amongst each other?
Logistics.
Players.
To buy players?
Yeah, they're buying players from each other, right? They're buying the registration rights from each other. Okay. So you can see how this all works. Okay. So this kind of big ecosystem of money, and plenty of money swashing around. Okay, we're going to think about Cristiano Ronaldo. So think about this scenario. In July 2018, he was 33 at the time, and he moved from Real Madrid to Juventus. The transfer fee was approximately 100 million euros, which is about 88 million pounds. And he signed a 4-year contract. Do you think the deal made sense then? Show of hands, who thinks yes? Okay, a couple of people think it makes sense. Who thinks that's a crazy idea? That was a silly deal to do. 33-year-olds, 100 million euros.
Depends, doesn't it?
Depends, right? It's Ronaldo. Okay, okay. So kind of split opinion. So let's have a think about some of the things. Actually, no, do you know what? I'm going to ask you to have a think. What do you think are some of the things that would crop up in Juventus's thought process when they were thinking, right, we've got to pay 100 million euros for a 33-year-old? You said no one's going to pay for anyone over 30, right?
Someone said football is unpredictable.
Yeah.
And sometimes club take risks.
Yeah.
And it may actually be a good thing in the future for them.
Yeah.
And I think this year one of this we just do 2 times.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Yep. Okay.
So it was a good profit.
It was a good deal for Juventus. Okay. What do you think they were thinking at the time? What would be some of the things they were thinking when they were thinking, should we spend 88 million pounds?
I think I think they got a lot of revenue from jersey.
Okay.
Merchandise,
so merchandise sales.
Yeah, I think TV rights too.
TV rights.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Good. TV rights, merchandise. Yep.
Social media marketing, because he has a lot of followers.
Social media marketing.
Prestige.
Prestige.
Increased ticket sales.
Increased ticket sales. Yeah. Good. Yeah.
So having another player of the same legacy would have been great for their own publicity.
Okay, so
Around
kind
the
of
world, around the globe.
to raise the profile of the club.
Yeah.
Okay, good. But I think you've said the main things there. What would be some of the reasons that they're thinking? Why might they be a little bit skeptical, even though they went ahead with it? Age. Yeah. Form. Okay. We've got a Cristiano Ronaldo fan. Okay. Okay, good. Anything else you could think? What would be some of the risks involved? What would be some of the risks involved? Yeah. Yeah, could break a leg, right? Athleticism. Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's still playing now, which is what. So he's still pretty fit, isn't he? Yeah.
Also, the impact on the team, like on the dynamics.
Good. Okay.
Because it's all really kind of about him.
Yeah.
And there's not a balance there throughout the whole team.
Yeah.
It's all about getting it to him.
Yeah. The
So,
dynamics of everything. Yeah. Cohesion. Yeah. Good. Okay. All right. Well, actually, let's have a look then. So they've got the cost of acquisition. So they've got 100 million euros straight up. They've got to think about the timings of the payments, because there's certain things that we need to think about with compliance when it comes to football. So they've got financial fair play to think about. They can only spend a certain amount of money, or they can only lose a certain amount of money. They've got agents' fees. So 100 million was just for him. They've also got his agents' fees. FIFA solidarity payments, right? Okay, and then we've not even thought about the wage cost. So it was 100 million for his transfer registration. Well, his wages are going to cost a lot as well. Amortization. What does amortization mean in sport? Amortization?
So using the club benefits from the purchase.
Okay. No, but I can see where you're going with that.
Right.
Yeah. Has anyone heard of this term before, amortization? So this is how we spread payments over the period of a contract. Okay, so they might have bought Cristiano Ronaldo for 100 million on a 5-year deal, where in their accounts they won't show 100 million in that first year. They'll show 20 million each year for 5 years. Okay, so amortization is how they spread the money from a financial accounting perspective. Okay, and that will pay into their financial fair pay compliance. They've got the insurance costs because, what if he does break his leg first week of training? That's not ideal, is it? So they're going to cost a lot to insure him. So let's have a look at the cost considerations. They've got 100 million euros over 2 financial years. So they've got to pay 12 million to his agent as well over that. And the FIFA solidarity payments of 5 million. Then his wages alone were 55 million euros, a 4-year contract. So they were averaging around 29.25 million. They've got the amateur. So that's his amortized cost. Sorry, insurance costs about 3 to 5 million euros. They've got the FIFA, UEFA financial fair play compliance as well. Okay, so these are all the things it's going to cost. But you've said a lot of the things when you're thinking about the revenue. So the prices, they put the prices of the tickets up 30% on the previous year, and they went up. So they generated between 48 to 52 million euros in ticket revenue. They were in the Champions League, so they could generate more from that. So they were hoping that he would help them qualify for more Champions Leagues as well. They've got broadcast revenue deals, so they agreed more. And they also had commercial income, so they expected around 75 million to 100 million euros extra. Okay, we've got this video. I can show you quickly.
And set up your store on a single integrated platform.
Juventus Turin and its holding company had to raise 350 million euros to sign Ronaldo. A brief explanation. Juve's holding company is owned by the Turin-based industrial family Agnelli and is also the majority shareholder of Fiat Chrysler. The announcement to spend a lot of company money on Ronaldo was quite controversial. The employees protested against this huge spending. About 30 million euros that were spent on Ronaldo came from Fiat. From the employees' point of view, unfair. The company justified the €1 million investment with expected additional revenues also in the millions. And Ronaldo was supposed to become an advertising partner for Fiat. The employees of Fiat were practically alone in the strike. Ronaldo was an economic factor with which all other stakeholders could calculate. The catering and tourism industries in Turin were already celebrating the new superstar in their city. The region expected significantly more visitors. There was talk of an increase of up to 10%. For comparison, a similar increase is expected when a city is officially chosen as capital of culture. Juventus also expected a massive increase in ticket and merchandise sales. 300,000 additional jerseys were to be sold. The philosophy behind it? Our squad is now more expensive, so tickets will also be more expensive. The entire Serie A hoped to become much more attractive through Ronaldo at Juve, meaning more spectators in the stadiums and more viewers on TV who want to watch the 5-time World Footballer of the Year. Sky-high expectations from all sides. Cristiano Ronaldo exceeded them. It only took a week and Adidas already had to reproduce Ronaldo jerseys. The jerseys for the season were completely sold out. Within 24 hours, the club had sold more than 500,000 Ronaldo jerseys. 850,000 were sold in the previous season from the entire team. What do the authentic jerseys currently cost? A children's jersey is available for around 70 euros. Adults pay just under 130 euros. If you want to have your jersey printed with a player's name, it costs an extra 10. So on average, a Juve jersey costs 120 euros. Those 520,000 Ronaldo jerseys sold have generated a total turnover of over 62 million euros on the first day of the announcement that Ronaldo will now play for Juve. Usually, the clubs receive 10 to 15% of the sales from the manufacturers, in this case Adidas. If Juventus sells the jerseys in their own fan shop at the stadium or via their online shop, their share is much higher. But these figures are relatively insignificant because most of the jerseys were sold in Asia. In other words, Juventus made between 6 to 9 million euros on the first day through the sale of Ronaldo jerseys alone. Some insiders claimed that the figures were too high. Adidas officially only said that they have to reproduce, not how many they sold. But what the Juventus financial report does show is that Juve earned 16 million euros more from merchandising in Ronaldo's first year compared to the year before him. The ticket prices increased by 30%. Juve's financial report shows an additional 14 million euros in ticket sales after Ronaldo's arrival. Even before Ronaldo's first press conference as a Juve player, Juventus had earned a large part of the transfer sum they paid Madrid. According to Juventus' official financial report, in Ronaldo's first year, the club generated over 110 million euros more than in the previous season. Some experts claim that the transfer was fully amortized after only a bit more than a year. Because not only ticket prices have risen, Juve's share price was also heading for a record high. Juventus almost doubled its market cap and grew by more than 650 million euros in Ronaldo's first year. So much for the raw financial figures. But there's more.
So you think you know Wix? Do you really? First up, we've got Shake Video Masks.
I really need to get the pro version.
Let's look at implicit values like social media. On Instagram alone, he has almost 250 million fans. That is 10 times the population of Australia. No one in the world has more. If Ronaldo's followers on all social media platforms are added together, almost 500 million accounts follow him in 2020. In the summer of 2018, before the announcement of the transfer, Juventus had only a fraction of Ronaldo's followers on social media. Within the first 4 weeks after it was announced that Ronaldo was now a Juve player, Juventus gained over 2.5 million new followers on Twitter, YouTube and Facebook, and 3.5 million new followers on Instagram. Not even athletic interest is growing that fast. Juve's channel kept growing, and Juventus has the third biggest Instagram account of all clubs in 2020. But it wasn't just Ronaldo's face and talent alone. Juventus orchestrated the transfer news in a Hollywood-like manner on all its channels. For example, the club visually merged the newly created corporate identity with a CR7 brand. Result? Over 11 million likes on Instagram after 2 days. The club completely rebranded all their social accounts with Ronaldo. Even a special hashtag was created for the day of the medical check. It made Juventus trend on Instagram and Facebook. Ronaldo has been active in social networks since 2009. He has posted several thousand pictures and videos on Instagram. But one of his most popular posts was when he announced his move to Juventus. Today, a football player is no longer only worth as much as his foot, head or speed. Experts also say that at least 5% of the transfer sum represent the player's digital value when a deal is made. In other words, a good social media presence and reach increase the market value. For Ronaldo, this value is likely to be even higher. It's reported that he earns more money through his Instagram posts than his salary at Juve. The same applies to the clubs. If you have players with a large social media following under contract,
Okay, I won't show the rest of it, but
the value.
Watch it, then you can do. Okay, one other Mentimeter then. So now that we've had a quick look at kind of funding at that elite level, but also perhaps what a community sport organisation are likely to be spending money on, I want you to think about how finance affects for-profit and not-for-profit organisations. So if we take the example there of Juventus versus that community sports organisation, what are going to be some of the key differences between those two organisations? And you can think about some of the things that are on screen. So funding, for example, staffing, regulations, legislation. Ownership. Yeah, good. Not-for-profits have tax exemptions. So, not-for-profits don't pay corporation tax, for example. Funding, yep. What do we think are the key differences then between funding? How are they funded? Who put funding? What are the key differences in terms of funding between for-profit and not-for-profit organizations?
So, for profit organizations, I think funding is mainly done regarding to the sales or the merchandising of the total year sales. But I think for non-profit organizations, it's about the members or what they get from the members of the NPO organizations.
Good. Okay. Yep. Exactly that. Structure. Good one. Why are they different structurally? Yep.
Maybe structures are like for the profit when they are run by a sole proprietor, where the non-profit are run by the government bodies.
Good. Yeah. So they're set up differently from a kind of a legal perspective. Yeah. Good. So we've got for-profit, focus on generating income through different revenue streams. Not profit, mostly looking at development. Yep. Good. So kind of perhaps a bit more reliant on membership fees to be self-sustainable, or donations or grant funding maybe. Values, vision, and aims. Good one. Who put that? Yeah, go on.
So different, if more like a non-profit, we'd be looking at just, I don't know, for example, I can't think of a non-profit anyway. It would have like things that it would be sticking to, like it's throughout everything, and it's more longer term planning.
Yeah.
You know, but to be fair, for-profit will have that too, but they might be a bit more lax on it. I would
Yeah.
say,
Okay.
than non-profit.
Yeah, good. But equally, they'll be trying to achieve different things, right? So you're right. I think the aims are going to be different. One will be very much focused on perhaps sporting success. The other one might be around participation, just getting people playing sport. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Non-profits are usually government-led. Okay, not always, but yeah, they can be. Profit organizations, private companies. Yep, good. Performance. How do we measure performance differently between the two? What are going to be the different kind of things that they're looking for in terms of success? Form of the player? Form of players for a profit organization, perhaps? Yeah. What about non-profit? What does success look like for them?
The for-profit organizations may outperform the non-profit organizations when it comes to the finance.
Yeah.
But the price structure might be excelled for the non-profit organizations.
Okay. Yeah. Good. Excellent. Anything else? Supervision. What do we mean by supervision? Anyone? No? Okay. Private versus public. What do we mean by private versus public? Who put private versus public? Right. Okay, but yeah, private versus public. Private club, they might be shareholders. They might just pay a dividend to themselves versus public, where anyone can become a member and join. Right. Good. And yes, key one here being non-profits reinvest any revenue back into the organisation. Yeah. Good. Okay. We're going to be looking at that a little bit more in depth next week. But just to kind of finish up today, we're going to have a little think of this concept of sports matching. Okay. So we're going to look at how some of these principles were going to be the same across all of those different types of organizations. So I think we'll just maybe stick to the groups that you're in. So stick to the 6 groups. I'm going to give you 4. Well, I'm going to give each table a scenario, and you're going to think about how the revenue might be raised for each of these different activities. Okay. So we've got our first scenario, which is a professional rugby club. It could be a Scottish rugby club for the context, looking to pay its players higher wages. Okay, so they want to pay their players higher wages. We've got the second scenario, which is a members golf club, which wants to expand its facilities. Currently a 9-hole course. It wants to become an 18-hole course. Okay. The third one is sports university. It could be Stirling, looking to provide improved facilities for its elite student athletes. Okay. And then the fourth one, a professional football club seeking to develop its community outreach activities. Okay. So for each of these 4 scenarios, think about each ways in which the following in which the organization could finance the activity that it wants to do. So what are kind of be the go-to places that they're going to go to try and get the finance for that? What are the things that you would need to think about when thinking about that finance? So is it going to be like an ongoing cost, or is it going to be like a one-off cost that they're going to be incurring? Okay, and how they're going to sustain that over the period of time? And then what are the risks attached to that as well? Okay, so if we go this table here, if you could take the professional rugby club for me. Yep, so you're going to be thinking about how is that rugby club going to pay its players higher wages? Table 2, if you take the members golf club looking to develop its facilities from 9 holes to 18 holes. Table at the back, if you take the university that wants to provide improved facilities for elite student athletes. Guys, if you take the professional football club that wants to do more community work, yeah. And then if you take the first one again, so the rugby club, yeah. And then if you take, so think about how's it going to raise that money. What are some of the things it needs to think about when it goes through that decision?
I didn't realise that you're talking about how the gym was like upstairs and downstairs. Yeah. It was like, I was like, oh, it's just upstairs and you just go upstairs, but it's not. It's like downstairs through the corridor.
Two different levels.
Basement.
Very high up there.
Fundraising.
Yeah. Or
well, usual sponsoring, for a particular year.
Yeah. Maybe getting rid of a player to raise some funds. Your pit.
Or you can buy an
So objective, like, we need to also
that will drive up ticket sales and merchandise. Risks. If the player gets an injury or
so your HR needs to include
also
no, the thing is
whether the person can actually bring it in to add value. It's not just going to be
if they are expanding the expanding it, then we'll have to see how it impacts the space.
So yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Make some cuts.
I think you should make that really expensive.
What do
what's the discussion about like their stadium?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think it's the phases. What's the land around it looking for? Are there businesses, houses?
Smaller.
Okay.
What's commercial? So,
Cuts.
Do you know what I mean?
You don't need it anymore.
Yeah. More efficient.
That's like a king. Fine.
You're done.
You're done.
You're done.
You can conduct coaching training sessions for beginners, and you can create a coaching program.
If you do cut out people from the job, then what would the decline be like work-wise? Everything done, your tasks done on time, or
Well, I don't know.
yeah.
It's not good golf into the contest.
Or like, Murrayfield's changed sponsors. We should like do that. Catherine do sponsor.
Oh yeah, so it used to be like ET Butterfield.
Yep. And now it's Scottish Gas Murrayfield, and then
Oh, it's Scottish Gas, because I remember seeing Scottish Gas.
the women's team and the men's team have different sponsors for their.
Jersey.
I think it's Arnold Clark for the men's and Scottish Gas for the women's. You can get up to different income from the. Obviously, there's finances are kind of split.
That's why I've done it. Do you would like a simple like bigger sponsors for like
The thing is, they actually have to get insurance because the last couples are definitely getting the houses. Like businesses
Or like men's and like women's and they have different kits kind of. But because they're different sponsors, they want it done different ways. I mean, like their kit last year. There's like a stat. Blue tartan.
So,
We're getting off track.
so how can so and what so how can what's another way?
You can also have an office eventually add value, but if we are getting like this, you lose it.
Oh, like going tours around.
Considering it as a factor
Get all the
like you like see like if you're going to do like a US tour or something like that.
It doesn't make
Oh, right.
So
Yeah.
Or like international stuff, just like anyway.
Financial issues.
How can we create something for people
Higher wages that you're looking for.
Right, let's look at some just like the I was like you're saying there, like a series that the women's team are playing has been sponsored by Unilever as well. There you go.
Yeah, that one.
You can see them. Did you get tickets?
So when I was in Florida, that's when the tickets got and obviously the time difference, I had to get about half 3 open my laptop up till 4 o'clock because that's what and I was like 500,000 website. Eventually get through it in 4 hours. And then it accused me of being a robot. Back in the queue. And when I eventually got back in, it said it was sold out. So I was like, right, okay, that's fine, whatever, we'll get tickets. And then obviously they put the dates on at Wembley.
Are you going to Wembley to see it?
Yeah. So, they basically said if you get you'll get an email whoever's been in, if you were in a queue before, there's like a handful of getting like selected to be invited to use the code to buy a ticket. So I waited for that and I get an email. And then like in the afternoon I got a code, so I was like, okay, cool. So I got up on a Saturday morning happy, because they basically gave you and put the code in, and then you select your seats, and it basically says that you're not guaranteed a ticket. So I've done that, and then eventually to see it.
It's called tour. So like Scanner America's tour.
So the season tickets were $2 each. Yeah. It was like the standing ones are $75. The season tickets, and then I came up with the price. I was like, I didn't want to walk out.
You tell me you rent out place, you sell all of them for over $1,000.
My friend was like, you would literally pay £1,000 for a ticket. And I'm like, you're insane.
I don't like them.
I don't like them.
One to all. You're one more than me, that's all I'll say. Oh, they could also say national games that offer like food and packages as well to get more revenue.
Also, one last
Okay. So you've got the what are some of the things
So for expenses, one is the commercial business. So that due to commercial, direct ticket price towards the expenses. So I remember the other one is you said about
buy land, we have to submit fees over there, and from this we can from the government we
and you were also saying
Question. So we need to figure out how to.
I got rid of Salah. Salah kept Mane. I got rid of Salah. Kept Mane.
So what they're going to need to do
Yeah. Always done well against us.
Yes. So they're going to pay for the land. How are they going to finance it? So what would
Is that where he is now? He's in Saudi.
finance that amount?
What you moved there?
Yeah. Right. Okay. So you're right though. So what else would it need to do?
you can take loans.
Okay. So you need a loan for the upfront cost, right? And the membership fees can pay for the ongoing.
Salah, Mane, and
You just wait.
Right. And then you don't own it anymore.
We get the money.
Yeah. Yeah. How's it going, guys? Quite happy with everything? Yeah? Good. Okay. Right, guys, we'll bring you back in. So, let's hear some examples. Let's think about this professional rugby club that want to pay its players higher wages. What are some of the things that the rugby club are going to have to think about in terms of how they're going to finance it? What are some of the issues that might be involved in doing this? So we've got two groups that we're working on rugby clubs. Any suggestions? What kind of a commitment is you'll get it. What kind of a commitment would it be if we're going to say, right, we're going to pay all of our staff more each month? What are some of the pros and cons of that?
The organisation will be more efficient running wise, but then in the long term, it's probably not that effective.
Okay, so you think people would be more efficient if they were paid more?
Kind of, yeah.
I quite like that idea.
But then if you have like a team of like 50 people, you might not need 50 people to run like an event, like a rugby event efficiently. So you can cut that down to 30, so that money of that 20 people could go into the players a little bit more.
Okay.
Into different sectors.
Okay, so you're thinking about it from increasing the budget rather than the wages specifically perspective. Okay.
Then you get a little bit of a pay increase, but
Okay.
whatever's left over could go into like upgrading.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So we've had a suggestion of perhaps not just paying the players more, but perhaps wider staff budget for other people involved. What else would we need to think about if we were going to commit to paying staff more money, players more money?
First, maybe I think this we can encourage them work hard. Yeah, and if this club need to build a strong team, and maybe they can achieve good grades, and they can make more money.
Okay, so if we're going to commit to paying staff each month more money, so we're not just going to come up with a lump sum of money, because we need to have. What's one of the dangers essentially of doing this?
It might not work properly.
Might not work properly. Why? What might happen?
The operating costs might increase.
Operating costs are going to go up, but there's no guarantee that the income is going to go up, right? So we've committed to paying more, but there's no guarantee that we're going to generate any extra revenue. So who are we going to charge to increase what we're paying our players? We're going to charge the fans more, right? We're going to put the ticket prices up, and we're going to ask the fans more, because look at our players. We're paying our players so much more, right? Good. Okay, so we're going to put the money onto fans, so a higher ticket price. Maybe what else would we maybe try and do? Merchandise, increase the price of merchandise. Yeah. Okay. Good. Anything else that we might try and do? Yeah, so increase the prices. Yeah. What about sponsorship? Maybe try and get some sponsors, more sponsors in to help us meet those costs. Yeah.
We can put small events on the match day
Yep.
to increase money, to take money from fans, and then we can give the high wages.
Yeah. Good. Okay. So good things are maybe staff feel more satisfied. They might perform better. But no guarantee, right? So actually, there's a risk that if they don't perform, we're hoping perhaps they're going to win stuff, and we can do what Juventus did and win titles and qualify for stuff, right? Danger is if you don't do that, you've got higher costs, but you haven't got higher income, right? So you might have operating losses. Okay, there's no guarantee, so it's quite a risky strategy. Yeah, okay, and really we're probably going to be pushing that price onto the fans, right? They're going to have to pay for it, and hopefully that's going to be self-sufficient. But again, there's no guarantee that's going to happen. Okay, what about our members golf club? So we've got a 9 course at the moment. We want to go to an 18 course. What are some of the cost implications here? Land. So we're going to have to buy more land. Yeah.
From businesses and people.
Good. And is that going to be an upfront cost or an ongoing cost? An upfront. Yeah, we're going to need to get the land straight away to develop it, right? So what are we going to do to try and raise that money?
Increase membership prices.
Yeah, so we're going to push it onto our members. Yeah. What else are we going to do maybe if we need the upfront money? More events, yeah. Maybe host some more events. That would be good.
Potential sponsors.
Good. Okay, so we'll be able to host more events, so you can see the benefit of doing it. Yep. What did you say, Manuel?
Just bank loans.
Okay, yeah, good.
Loans.
Loans.
Yeah.
What's a good thing about a loan?
There's always like a payment plan.
Okay, so we get quite a large sum of money up front. What's a bad thing about a loan? Got to pay it back plus the interest, right? So it could be a really high interest loan that we've got. Not a lot of people are willing to give to sports clubs as well because they're seen as being quite risky. So you're probably going to get a higher interest of loan. Everton are probably quite a good example of a club that's got lots of loans at the moment. Okay, so we're gonna take a loan out probably, and we might have some reserves that we can dip into, but probably not to buy enough land for another 9 holes. Okay, and then we're going to charge our members more because they're getting twice as many holes. But we also got more costs, right? Because we've got more grass to water and more staff to pay. So we've got an upfront cost and ongoing costs that we need to think about. What about our university that want to improve the facilities for elite student athletes? Is that going to be an upfront cost or an ongoing cost?
Going to be an ongoing cost.
An ongoing cost? Why?
Because we'll have to advertise the players as well.
Okay.
And while we are advertising the players, the results might not be predictable at the same time.
Okay.
Because it can be possible that we are advertising someone as a gold medalist. In the next Olympics, they might not win any medal at all. So
Okay.
there might be funding problems.
Yeah. Okay. Funding problems. Yeah. Where are they likely to go? They've got an ongoing cost because they've got more facilities to run, but they're also probably going to need some upfront costs as well.
Because every athlete would some more from the facilities. Like if there's one swimming pool, they would like another one so that they can split the training sessions.
Okay.
So there are more athletes.
Yep.
There.
Okay. So they're going to need more facilities. Yep. So they're going to need more money. Where might that university go for funding?
You can go to government bodies.
You can
Governing
go to
bodies?
You can go to the past students.
Past students, alumni. Yeah. Yeah. Where else? You said something about government. Yeah. They might go to the Scottish government. If it was sterling, they might say, look, what we're doing for participation in sport. Might go to Sport Scotland. Yeah. Good. It can, yeah. So we're going to push the price back onto the members again, which is actually you guys. That's, yeah. So you're going to charge yourself more money. Okay. Good. All right, good. So we've got upfront costs and ongoing costs. We've got kind of a range of different ways that we're going to fund that. Okay, and then lastly, we've got our professional football club that are wanting to do perhaps a bit more community activity, maybe for a charitable foundation. How are they going to finance that, do you think? This one's a tricky one, I think. What would a club like Man U, for example, do in terms of funding?
Some like the charity match.
Yep, good.
They can sell the tickets, get some money, and like to give them to the charity and to help the community and the disadvantaged communities.
Yeah, good. Okay, so the professional club could use its profile to perhaps do fan auctions or dinners or fundraising events that they could donate to a charitable body that does work within its local activity. They might perhaps look for donors that donate on a monthly basis, perhaps fans of the club that want to donate on a monthly basis to help fund that activity. But they might also be looking to local charities for support, or local food banks to support some of the people that they're working with. Okay, so they're the type of funding that they're going to be looking at. It's perhaps quite different to the other scenarios we looked at. Okay, good. We're going to finish very quickly with a quiz. I said this was not going to be 3 hours, but just not finance. Right. We're going to do a quiz at the end of each lecture, okay? And I'm quite competitive, right? So I'm going to create a little leaderboard for you, and at the end of the module, I will find a prize for whoever gets the most wins. Okay. Now, this is everything that we've covered over the course of the lecture. Okay, so you can go to menti.com and that code up the top as well if you want to. Okay. You can, I think you get quicker if you do it on your laptop than on your phone because you actually get more points if you answer faster.
God. Who gives me to try?
Okay, everyone ready?
Alright. Why am I swearing?
What did you say? Why am I sweating?
So why am I nervous for this?
I thought you said, why am I sweating? Okay. Right, question 1. How many summative assessments are there in this module? So how many assessments do you get graded on? You put it on the app. Put it on the app. Oh. You can submit 3 if you want to, but I'm only going to mark 2 of them.
How do you know who you are?
Say that for me as well.
When is your first summative assignment, the budgeting exercise, due? Yep. 22nd of October.
Okay, I'm in the 11th.
Question 3. What percentage of your final grade does the second assignment contribute? What's it worth?
I took too long to answer Yeah, it's just like when we did that. I was above you though before.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you beat me.
4. Okay, what is the primary platform used to access resources for this module called?
Just put 2 seconds answer that.
Oh, you want the fastest one?
I had to scroll. I was wanting to seem to like scroll it down to get an answer.
Whenever my body is not saying
Is that for 4? Oh my
What was the global valuation of the sports industry in 2023?
That's cheating. This is an open book.
I know.
We've got a cheat with you.
What percentage of the total sports industry revenue was generated by media rights?
I don't know.
40%.
It's 40%.
I feel like I should trust you.
Why?
Yes.
You said it so like. Is it not?
I did used to get one wrong.
Which market is projected to reach 155 billion by 2024?
2.97 seconds. 7 seconds. Right. Oh no. Yeah, that one is right.
I don't know. Oh no, it is.
Charlie, don't get too excited, man.
Which type of organisation is FIFA classified as?
No, I picked the wrong one.
I was about to pick the wrong one, but I still have to pick it up.
I just looked at the. Yeah, I know. I went. Yeah.
Non-profit. Charlie, what's your vote? What seconds were you? Good.
What is a key feature of non-profit sports organisations?
Pick one.
Was it an option for all of the above? Keep on. Oh yes, I'm back up to 4.
That's the penultimate question. Which Olympic Games experienced the largest escalation in costs?
I think I got that wrong as well.
2014.
Surely that's probably
Yeah, Sochi, 50 billion. Okay, and then last question. Which of the following financial concepts is critical for budgeting in sports organisations?
I took 11 seconds.
Tadi ada para kunti.
Who's Bell? Who was Bell? Well done, okay.
Oh, you said something else there.
Okay.
Is this a class?
Right, guys, that's it for this week. So, I'll see you next Tuesday, same time, same place. Okay. I'll populate the Canvas page with the lecture and the slides and everything you need. Okay. But otherwise, I'll see you next Tuesday.